Did you know the reason League of Legends is free to play is partly because of Dota All-Stars and the MOBA community? As I mentioned before in my previous Did You Know episodes, League was born from a string of mods, starting with the StarCraft 1 mod Eon of Strife, eventually leading to Dota and Dota All-Stars, which kicked off the MOBA genre. These mods were all run through various games that Blizzard Entertainment would release from the years 1998 to 2003, StarCraft 1, Warcraft 3, and Warcraft 3's expansion, The Frozen Throne. Now, to actually play one of these mods back then, you did need a copy of the respective game and possible expansion, but after you had your copy, the mod was essentially free and available for anyone to download from the internet. In an interview with Game Set Watch back in 2009, a writer asked Riot if they were scared about commercializing a Dota-style game and alienating the community since they had been accustomed to their mod being free for the past 5 years. Representatives from Riot responded saying that they were very careful about commercializing it and consistently listened to feedback from the community all the way from the very start of development, suggesting that the free-to-play roots of the original mods were a major part in how they set up the free-to-play nature of League of Legends. This is pretty interesting considering the fact that it was the community that defined this free-to-play model and allowed League to grow as a game and esport in such a rapid fashion, inspiring other companies and game developers as well to look into similar business structures and how games are released and monetized. Now League boasts a huge player base growing every day, up to 70 million players a month, and is one of the most successful and popular games in the world, partly because of this consumer-friendly business model that all originated from the fact that this genre started off as just a mod and some community members that wanted to push it forward. Did you know the League of Legends champion Riven was largely inspired and based off of the Fire Emblem character Marth? Riven was codenamed Marth during her design phase and was intended to have many abilities resembling the skill set that Marth has in the Super Smash Bros. Games. The designer Zyphris seemed to be inspired by his playstyle as a quick and nimble swordsman who hopped around battle, knocking his opponents around with his long-ranged sword. Riven would be changed a lot as time went on, having other influences worked into her design, such as the previously cancelled champion Avasha, eventually turning her into the champion we know today. Most of the Marth moveset ended up being removed, and the name was eventually changed to Riven, meaning torn apart or broken asunder, much more fitting considering her lore and weapon. However, the initial Marth concept can still be seen in a few abilities. Her ultimate, Blade of the Exile, where she gets a longer sword that deals more damage and gives greater range, could have been inspired from the tipper mechanics that Marth has, where his sword will deal more damage and give greater knockback at longer ranges, rewarding him for spacing well. A much more obvious example, though, of similarities between the two come from the one ability that did make it into Riven's skill set, Dancing Blade, which greatly resembles Riven's Q, Broken Wings. Both abilities are quick, successive attacks. Both can be chained together into a combo that attacks up to 3 times for Riven or 4 for Marth, and both abilities can be cancelled at any strike throughout the combo. Riven isn't the only champion to have inspiration rooted elsewhere, though. Fiora, whose sword fighting style is based off of fencing, was inspired by an unspecified historical French fencer, possibly Julie d'Aubigny. Born in France in the year 1670, Julie d'Aubigny was a master fencer who'd wound or kill at least 10 men in life-or-death duels during her lifetime, have multiple affairs with both men and women, including her father's boss, and would become a world-renowned opera singer who'd give nightly performances on the biggest and most highly respected opera stage that there was at the time. She even inspired the famous French poet and novelist Théophile Gautier to write a novel based off of her wild life. If only Fiora were that cool. The item Frozen Heart actually has a few interesting facts surrounding it. Not only is it one of the only 3 items that can reduce attack speed, but it actually has a bit of history and a number of cool references to other games. Back during the Harrowing event of 2010, it was one of the few items to receive a seasonal makeover with a name change to the Frozen Brain, along with a new icon. The initial picture of Frozen Heart is actually the same icon used in World of Warcraft to represent a citrine gem, the only differences being the Frozen Heart is white instead of orange and frozen over. The description warning "Do not thaw" is a reference to the item Eye of Skadi from the original Dota All-Stars, whose description contains the exact same line, and whose name, Skadi, references the Norse goddess Skadi, a Jotun associated with skiing, winter, and the mountains. And finally, a few more fun trivia facts. Iron Stylus, the senior concept artist at Riot Games, has stated that Skarner's head is based off of the Eva unit from Neon Genesis Evangelion. The old Twisted Treeline map had a unique interaction with Cassiopeia, where when she was in the game, the snakes that were part of the map's idle animations would be disabled. The new Twisted Treeline's boss Vilemaw has the old boss's bones in his lair, and Galio's commando skin is a reference to the Imperial Guard of the Warhammer 40K series, resembling the Ogryn, while his attire resembles that of Chris Redfield's from the Resident Evil series. Thank you very much for watching. I always enjoy making videos like my Did You Know series, so I hope you enjoyed watching. If you haven't already, check out my previous 2 Did You Know videos on League of Legends. I obviously try to make them all super interesting, but there's only so much information I can fit into one video. So as always, don't forget to subscribe for more and look forward to the next one. But until then, thank you very much for watching, good luck in solo queue, and have a wonderful day.